Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Osama Shah. Ladies and gentlemen, the universe is putting on one of its most dramatic shows, a rare total lunar eclipse, also called the blood moon. It is lighting up the skies as we speak. For more than 82 minutes, the moon will slip completely into Earth's shadow. It will transform from its usual bright silver glow into a deep fiery red. And the best part, you don't need telescopes, you don't need any special equipment. You just need to step outside and watch this spectacle unfold. In fact, NDTV science editor Pallav Bagla, he's joining us at this point of time. Sir, this is a rare celestial event, and I'm very sure that you're pretty excited about it.
Well, certainly, it's a very exciting time. India has done lunar exploration, and we have a lunar eclipse happening. I'm talking to you from Bangalore. All the laboratories here are open, and people are watching the lunar eclipse using telescopes through naked eyes, and they are enjoying the celestial dance. While at the same time, we also have a large part of India which is going to be indoors, and the temples are not open because we have a country of believers and we have a country of people who believe in science. So they go hand in hand, but it's a celestial spectacle like no other. It happens often, but a total lunar eclipse of this duration, of this nature, and where the glow of the moon will turn reddish is a rarity, and it's happening over a large part of the globe where there's a large population and everybody can go out and enjoy it. There was a time when the myths and the superstitions had a role in our lives, with science and technology explaining every aspect of it. Today, we can go ahead and watch it, and lunar eclipses can be watched with naked eyes. So you don't need to go to a planetarium or to an observatory or to a scientific laboratory. Just get onto an open space and hope that there is no monsoon cloud over you, and you can enjoy the spectacle where the Earth's shadow can be seen going over the moon. So you seldom see the Earth's shadow. So you will see the shadow of the Earth on the moon. It's a beautiful spectacle. And there are so many things which happen around it, which make it very interesting. And this is essentially because the Earth, moon, and sun fall in a single straight line. And this event, if the moon's axis were not tilted and its revolution were not tilted, would happen every month. It doesn't, but when it happens, it gives a beautiful spectacle. That's called an eclipse. And the first time the scientific explanation for an eclipse came almost 2,500 years ago by Aryabhatta in his book Aryabhatya. So India has a tradition of science on the eclipses and explanations, and we continue to explore the moon now physically by going to the moon. So it's a beautiful time, and go out and watch it. It's a beautiful spectacle.
Pallav sir, it's great that you mentioned, India's mission to the moon, because what we are looking ahead is the Chandrayaan-4 mission and India's future lunar, ambitions that are there in the pipeline. How should we view this particular event, this celestial event? Should we see it as symbolic? Should we see it as inspiring? How should we look at it?
Whichever way you look at it, this will happen. This is a dance of the planets and planetary bodies. Whether you like it or not, it will continue to happen for millennia. It has happened for several millennia. It will continue to happen. We are trying to understand the moon and the science and geology of the moon for a very different reason, because world wants a permanent habitation on the moon. America is working towards that very strongly, and India is also going to have a Indian landing on the moon by 2040. So these are great understandings happening about lunar science. It's our closest planetary neighbor, and we need to understand it essentially because it has secrets hidden on how the Earth originated or planets originated long before that, because there is no erosion on the moon's surface. So in the moon, it harbors many secrets. That's why we are trying to explore it. And the lunar eclipse, which we are seeing right now, which is in a partial lunar eclipse stage just now, or actually, at the total lunar eclipse has started at 11:01. So right now we've entered the total lunar eclipse phase, and the image we can see on the moon is of the moon is already showing a reddish glow on it. So the total lunar eclipse has started, and everybody should be going out and watching this lunar eclipse, which sometimes in the American phraseology they have started calling it the blood moon. Nothing blood or anything bloody about it. It's just the color reddish, which comes because of the scattering of light, which is filtered through the Earth's atmosphere. It's a beautiful spectacle. Unfortunately, I can't go out and see it. I would urge anybody who's listening to me to leave and go and see. Otherwise, stay with NDTV. We are going to give you this entire thing in a very beautiful explanatory manner and enjoy it.
Pallab sir, you have covered so many of India's space, space exploration events, our missions. Do you sense a greater pride, a greater sense of curiosity about the moon, about the closest neighbor, among ordinary people, since all these missions, since India's mission successes?
Oh, certainly. And I have repeatedly pointed out, see, 12 Americans landed on the moon, and the last one landed on the moon in 1972. And that happened because of the Cold War between USSR and America. And after that, the world seems to have forgotten about the moon. And the world really woke up about the moon when in 2008, India did the Chandrayaan-1 mission, which was a lunar orbiter. But it was a lunar orbiter which left a great mark because it found the presence of water molecules on the moon. It changed the entire history of the lunar geology, understanding of the lunar geology, because if there is water on the moon, then you can have permanent habitation at some point or the other, because you cannot have, unless there is water, there cannot be life in the form which we see on Earth. So it opened doors, and since then, floodgates have been opened, and many, not just government missions, but private missions have been going towards the moon. And India also launched Chandrayaan-2, follow-up to Chandrayaan-1, and then Chandrayaan-3. And Chandrayaan-3, India's mission, was sensational, not just in India, but across the world, because India landed closer to the south pole of the moon, and no other country has landed as close to the south pole of the moon. Today, the south pole of the moon is considered the El Dorado, where the gold rush is happening. And the Artemis missions from America are also expected to go towards the south pole of the moon. And all of that floodgate was opened through India's sub-$100 million Chandrayaan-1 mission. And that changed the entire outlook towards the moon. So India and the Indian Space Research Organization has a glorious past, and a future is looking even brighter, because you have Chandrayaan-4 coming up, which is a sample return mission. And beyond that, we have a Indo-Japanese mission, which will land right at the South Pole at 90 degrees. And then we have other missions coming up, including launching a kind of a GPS navigation system on the moon, so that future missions on the moon can have easier navigation. And having a permanent habitation on the moon is America's wish, and landing an Indian on the moon is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's diktat to the Indian Space Research Organization. And they already have a large rocket called the Lunar Module Launch Vehicle, which is 123 meters tall. That work is ongoing at ISRO. I just saw the first models of that.
Right.
And we have a great way to explore and understand the universe through the moon.
Absolutely. And Pallab sir, all I can say is there is a blood moon above, and the Chandrayaan legacy below. This entire journey, it will continue. And tonight's eclipse, it is just a reminder that the moon is actually closer to India than ever before. Pallab Bagla there, thank you very much for staying with us and getting us all those details. And details from the BJP convention. The Prime Minister, he was thanked for the GST overhaul. In fact, the Union Minister, Piyush Goyal, he presented the GST proposal, which was supported by all the BJP MPs.
Biggest takeaway from day one of the Bharatiya Janata Party Karyashala, which was organized at the Balayogi Auditorium in the Parliament complex was the attendance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in different sessions. The message was very clear that how serious Prime Minister is to attend these kind of workshops that are being organized by the Bharatiya Janata Party to all its MPs. The session started with Union Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal moving a proposal to thank Prime Minister for bringing the GST next gen reforms, and it was all the MPs who thanked Prime Minister for making such a historical announcement that gave relief to the common man. We saw different sessions including how India is moving ahead towards Viksit Bharat 2047 mission, and also how the BJP MP should use social media platforms. It was also different policies that the Modi government has brought so far was discussed briefly by the MPs in different sessions. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was also felicitated by different BJP MPs on bringing the next gen GST reforms, which is a historic announcement and have being appreciated by different industries across the country. It was also, different policies of the Modi government which was discussed. It's a two-day Karyashala which is being organized by the Bharatiya Janata Party for its MPs. Today was day one, and tomorrow on day two, there will be training session of the MPs as far as the vice presidential polls are concerned, and the newly elected MPs will be taught about how to go ahead in these elections, because it's a neck-to-neck competition as far as the Bharatiya Janata Party and India bloc, the NDA and the India bloc majorly is concerned. The NDA wants to tick all its boxes right as far as the numbers which have already been stacked with them. They are very sure that their candidate CP Balakrishnan will be emerging victorious in these elections. But because these elections are slightly different, several MPs are taking participation in such elections for the very first time. So training will be given as to how to participate in these elections tomorrow on day two as well. Certainly a very important day. We have seen such a Karyashala being organized by the Bharatiya Janata Party earlier as well, but Prime Minister taking a back seat and giving the front seat to the newly elected MPs of the BJP and sitting with the fellow MPs was a major takeaway from day one.
Meanwhile, two important meetings of the Congress leaders were held on Saturday evening and Sunday afternoon. There was discussion on ensuring the presence of all opposition MPs during the voting process. Meanwhile, the BRS, it is likely to abstain from the vice presidential election. The party has 4 Rajya Sabha MPs. It has no MP in the Lok Sabha. While Union Minister G. Kishan Reddy, he has already announced that NDA need no support from the BRS. India bloc has not officially approached KCR's party yet. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to visit Gurdaspur in Punjab on the 9th of September, where he'll be meeting those affected by the floods and interact with the farmers as well as residents who have lost their crops and property. In fact, the centre has assured them that they will take all possible steps to help the families of all the victim families. Meanwhile, as the Prime Minister is set to visit Punjab, the BJP has targeted the Congress party, asking where is Rahul Gandhi. The BJP says that Rahul Gandhi is holidaying abroad and that Rahul is vacationing after his Bihar campaign.
तो बिहार के लोग के साथ वो यात्रा किया, उसके बाद वो कुछ ज्यादा ही थक गए क्योंकि भीड़ आई नहीं, यात्रा फ्लॉप रही, सिर्फ कांग्रेस आरजेडी के वर्कर ही आए, तो निराशा भी हुई होगी। तो उसके लिए रिलैक्स करने के लिए वो मलेशिया चले गए। अच्छी बात है, छुट्टी मनाए। राहुल गांधी बिना छुट्टी मनाए कैसे रह सकते हैं? हम लोग तो जानते हैं कि राहुल गांधी चुनाव को और राजनीति को पार्ट टाइम लेते हैं।
जापान और चीन छुट्टियां मना के आए हैं हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी, इस तरह न हो तो अच्छा। जहां तक सवाल है राहुल गांधी से इतना डरी हुई भाजपा क्यों है? जब वो तेज आवाज में बोल देते हैं SIR पे बिहार में, तब आपत्ति है उनको। वो दौरे पे निकल लेते हैं, तब आपत्ति है उनको। और अगर उनका मुस्कुराता हुआ चेहरा कहीं दुनिया किसी कोने में दिख जाता है, तब उनको आपत्ति। अरे चाहे जितना डरो, जितना घबराओ, राहुल गांधी हिंदुस्तान का सबसे बड़ा जननायक बनकर उभर चुका है।
Time for a very short break. More news and updates on the other side. Welcome back. The US President Donald Trump, he says that he's ready for a second phase of sanctions against Russia. He has repeatedly threatened Moscow with further sanctions but withheld them as he pursued the talks. Now, many experts say that Trump has been frustrated as there is no halt to the fighting in Ukraine after he initially predicted that he would be able to end the war swiftly when he took office in January. So, Donald Trump signaling new sanctions against Russia. My colleague Mohammad Ghazali joins us to get us more on this. All right, we'll try and connect with Mohammad Ghazali in just a short while from now. This is the second phase of sanctions that Donald Trump has threatened Russia with. He says that he's ready for the second phase of sanctions against Russia. He has in fact previously also repeatedly threatened Moscow with further sanctions. Many experts are saying that Donald Trump, he's been frustrated as there is no halt to the fighting in Ukraine. The war between Russia and Ukraine, it continues, and he had initially predicted that he would be able to end the war swiftly when he took office in January. With the onset of festive and wedding season, Indian fashion, it is buzzing. Top fashion designers, they are reimagining traditional weaves and craft. My colleague Mayank Chaudhary, he brings us this report.
Gone are the days of simple and minimal. This season, Indian fashion designers are going big. One such name, probably the strongest in high fashion landscape right now, is of designer Amit Agarwal. There is no stopping to his boundaries of creativity. Fashion designer Amit Agarwal has pushed the boundaries of avant-garde fashion once again. And turning showstoppers for the designer were B-Town's hottest kids, Ibrahim Ali Khan and Sharwari.
I think the process is Sharwari herself. I think when the inspiration is so strong, I think a creator's job becomes literally down to zero. I think Sharwari and I have been wanting to do this together for a really long time. I think what she wears epitomizes the person she is, the craft and the future of the craft that she brings to the table. And I think that today, the mix of heritage with the traditional, the Banarsi and the polymer actually really redefines everything that she is as a person.
You know, today, in fact, Amit sir and I were talking about something during fittings, and I've always loved a story, and I think that I always love when there is a story behind just optics. And he was telling me about how they are preserving our Indian heritage by taking these Banarasi textiles, upscaling them, and making them into couture. And I think that it's incredible because it's on, you know, they make things on global platforms. They make our country proud, and I think craft is something that we should all be very proud of.
I think a lot of the signature pieces we got to see tonight, the signature Amit Agarwal fluid designs, but what really stands out for me in the recent times are the Banarsi pieces. So, you know, incorporating a lot of weaves and silk Banarsi fabric. So I think that is what stands out for me.
Well, it won't be wrong to say that Indian fashion is touching new heights. Just like the fluidity of the Alps, designer Amit Agarwal reimagined and reinterpreted Indian classic fabrics, textiles and silhouettes. With camera person Prem Singh, this is Mayank Chaudhary for NDTV.
And finally, Mumbai's favorite deity, the Lal Bagh Raja, has been immersed in the Arabian Sea after the Visarjan was delayed for several hours. Usually the Visarjan, it happens at around 8 and 9 a.m. on the day following the designated Visarjan day. But misleading predictions about the high tide led to the delay in the Visarjan this time. The Visarjan has finally taken place this evening as Mumbai bid goodbye with the familiar and devotion-filled chant of Ganpati Bappa Moria, Puchya Varshi Lokariya, which is an appeal to Lord Ganesha to return early next year.